Imagine, you are inside a dream, where time moves slowly, and every sound turns into a story. Keep your eyes closed, and let us begin. The day Toby smiled the brightest was the day his happiness quietly began to fade. Toby was a small, gentle tortoise who lived near a peaceful pond surrounded by tall green trees. Every morning, he would wake up with joy in his heart, slowly stretching his legs and looking at the sky with a calm smile. He loved simple things: warm sunlight, cool water, and the soft sound of birds singing. Other animals often rushed around, chasing food or arguing with each other. But Toby was different. He believed that life was not about speed, but about feeling every moment. One day, while walking near the pond, Toby met a cheerful butterfly named Lila. She fluttered around him and said, "Why are you always smiling, Toby? Life is not always so easy." Toby gently replied, "Maybe life is not easy, but it is still beautiful." From that day on, Lila and Toby became best friends. Every morning, she would sit on his shell and tell him stories about the sky, the clouds, and distant flowers. Toby would listen carefully, his eyes shining with happiness. Days turned into weeks, and their friendship grew stronger. Toby had never felt so happy before. But one evening something changed. Dark clouds gathered in the sky, and a strong storm began. The wind howled loudly, and the rain poured heavily. Toby hid inside his shell, waiting for the storm to pass. When the storm finally ended, the forest looked different. Broken branches were everywhere. The flowers were crushed, and the air felt heavy and silent. Toby slowly came out of his shell and looked around. "Lila," he called softly. There was no answer. He searched near the pond. He looked around the trees. He waited for her to flutter back and land on his shell like she always did. But Lila was gone. Days passed, but she never returned. For the first time in his life, Toby stopped smiling. The pond that once felt peaceful now felt empty. The songs of birds no longer brought him joy. Every morning felt slow and heavy. He missed Lila's voice, her laughter, and her stories. One day, while sitting alone near the water, Toby saw his reflection. His eyes looked dull, and his face looked tired. "Why does life feel so different now?" he whispered. An old wise turtle, named Grander, slowly approached him. "I have been watching you, Toby," Grander said softly. "Your heart is hurting." Toby nodded. "I lost my friend. And with her, I think I lost my happiness too." Grander sat beside him and said, "Happiness does not disappear, Toby. It hides when we are in pain." "But how do I find it again?" Toby asked, his voice shaking. Grander smiled gently. "By remembering, not forgetting." That night, Toby thought deeply. He remembered Lila's stories. He remembered her laughter. He remembered how she used to say, "Even the darkest clouds will pass." The next morning, Toby did something he hadn't done in days. He smiled just a little. He started walking around the forest again. Slowly, he began helping others, guiding lost ants, sharing food with birds, and comforting a lonely rabbit. Every time he helped someone, he felt a small spark inside his heart. One evening, as the sun was setting, a soft breeze passed by. For a moment, Toby felt something familiar. Felt like Lila. He closed his eyes and whispered, "Thank you for teaching me how to be happy." Tears rolled down his face, but this time they were not only sad tears. They were filled with love, memories, and quiet strength. From that day on, Toby was not the same happy tortoise as before, but he became something even stronger. A tortoise who understood that happiness and sadness are both parts of life. And sometimes, the deepest pain teaches us the most beautiful lessons. Light bulb life lesson. True happiness is not about never feeling sad. It is about finding light even in the darkest moments, and carrying love in your heart even after loss.